Welcome to the hashtag R6 Prepares podcast. I'm Bill Bischoff, FEMA Region 6 Community Preparedness Officer, and we're going to be talking about community preparedness matters that affect Region 6 states and tribal nations, Arkansas, Louisiana, Oklahoma, New Mexico, Texas, and the tribal nations therein. We hope you enjoy the show.
Welcome, Rose Martinez, to the hashtag R6 Prepares podcast. It's good to have you here. How are you?
Great. Thanks, Bill. It's great to be here. Doing well.
It's great to have you here. And first off, I've got to congratulate you. You and the Rio Rancho CERT team are the winners of the 2021 Whole Community Preparedness Award that comes out from FEMA Region 6 and the Region 6 Community Preparedness Working Group. So good on you.
Super excited.
I know the cat's been out of the bag for a bit, but it's my pleasure to talk to you and to talk to you about how you got there, how you and the CERT team, Rio Rancho CERT team got there. So if you don't mind, let's just talk about your CERT team for a minute. How many folks do you have on it? And how often do you all meet? What's it look like?
So our team, it consists of approximately between 215 and 235 people. Typically when we have an event, I have about 35-ish to 40 show up. So we don't meet on a regular basis. When I host a new class, our past team members are able to join in, kind of welcome the new members, give their feedback on what we do and answer any questions as a volunteer for those that are wanting to come on the team.
Super. And does that work? I would imagine that works like a charm, considering I know that the other way is to kind of poke and prod and make sure that your folks are where they need to be. And sometimes that can get a little bit tiresome and run folks off. So is it
yeah,
that sounds like a tried and true measure with the fact that you've got around 235 folks that stay with you. Goodness.
It is. And also we've been working on a CERT team cadre to help actually instruct the entire class. One of the benefits of our CERT program is that we offer CPR and first aid certification.
Right.
So we do bring somebody in for that portion, but pretty much for the rest of it, we're hoping to just have it led by my CERT cadre, because if anything, they know best about this entire program.
That's fantastic. Now, I was looking at the nomination form that was filled out for the Rio Rancho CERT team, and I was just taken by the enormity of what Rio Rancho took on. While it performs in many different areas, it's just like, what do you not do? One of the things that grabbed me was 6,000 masks sewn for the first responders in the area. How did that come to be?
Well, of course, in the beginning of the pandemic, we were at a shortage of PPE, as was everybody. And, one of the chiefs mentioned, my sister sews. And I said, well, let me reach out to my CERT team, see if anybody has sewing skills. We'll purchase all the materials if they can, get it going. And lo and behold, we had quite a few sewers on our team. And not only did they start this, we called them the mask makers. They started making these masks. Then they recruited people from the community that weren't even team members. And before I knew it, they were just dropping these masks off. And it was the thousands. And so they held our first responders, they kept them safe for that first part of the pandemic when no one really knew what was going on. Everything was shutting down, and they wanted to help. They wanted to help. Everyone felt helpless, just being at home, and they wanted to do something. And in the best way possible, they came up with this, and we had all these masks.
It is fantastic. And those masks went to the first responders. They went to anybody. I think eventually city employees. It just went to anybody that needed it. And it seems like it was CERT filling any space that needed to be filled. So talk to me too.
That's right.
It seems like they took on a little bit more with dealing with senior citizens. What happened there?
Yes, our senior program here in the city of Rio Rancho is very popular. it's very much needed as well. And they feed our seniors every day for lunch. And when everything closed down, some of these seniors depended on that meal or depended on, the things that the senior center offered. And so without hesitation, I requested, team members if they could come help pack boxes of food. And then we did that whole drive through. They didn't even have to get out of their car. They popped their trunk or opened the back door, put the box in, and they left. For those that don't drive, that are homebound, that depended on our city buses, our city van to come pick them up for the program, we were able to get them delivered to them at home. Some boxes.
Well,
yes.
One of the other questions I have now, I know that many of our partners in CERT were told down and do not come back up, do not show back up until we tell you otherwise. And it sounds
right.
like, and I know that a lot of times our CERT partners are not always, we've got teen CERT partners, but a lot of not teen CERT partners who are senior citizens themselves. And it would seem like
yes,
at least early on in the pandemic, seemed to be those that most had a target on. The longer you've lived, the more systems that you have personally that may be open to the pandemic or to the virus. So,
right.
Did you not run into reluctance or hesitance from your CERT members, or were they just like, we got to do something and it's time to do it? How did that go?
Well, in my requests, I always stated, if your health is compromised in any way, if you have immune deficiency problems, anything like that, or you just don't feel like it's the right thing for you, obviously, we want you staying safe at home. And for those that felt like they were okay to do it, we provided them with the N90s and gloves, hand sanitizer, the whole thing. And and it worked out great. Worked out really great.
Tell me other ways, Rose, that Rio Rancho CERT Team has helped in the last year, and what they're going to do moving forward. What plans do you have as we move to a new year?
Well, one of the other big things that my team did was I had two of my CERT team members that actually volunteered up at the state EOC when this first started. They went active and needed people, and they reported every day for 2 weeks. And, these are members that live here in Rio Rancho that drove out to Santa Fe, which is where the state EOC is. And they were able to report back to us how things happened, what was going on. And it was a huge help because myself and Teresa, who was here at the time, could not be up there. We were enthralled. We were so busy here trying to, keep everybody safe and, in the trenches. So it meant a lot to have these volunteers out there and reliable, they were able to go and with no problems and, so willing, which is it just makes my heart so happy that I have so many people that are just givers. They're just givers and want to help.
For those that don't know, Rio Rancho is not a small rural area. Rio Rancho is I think the fourth largest city in New Mexico.
Yeah.
And has a lot going for it. And so the fact that you mentioned somewhere around 235, 250 on your CERT team, it takes that kind of number to do what you do. So
yes.
You mentioned some events earlier. What events do you hold?
So as far as here in the community, we do in normal times, obviously not now during the pandemic, but normal times we do hands-only CPR. And it's a big event in the park where we're able to spread out. It involves it's free to the community. We run it every 30 minutes. It's usually on a Saturday. So we do that. And we do the Mayor's Sunday is Fun Day, help out with that. Any big events that we have here, believe we're going on the 12th annual Pork and Brew. It's a barbecue competition and it's a pretty big event. So we set up a stand there. We offer first aid, a cooling station, information about becoming a part of the team. And that's some of the stuff that they've been doing in normal times. What was the other thing I was going to tell you? I think that was it. I think those were the things that I wanted to cut base on.
That's big. That's plenty. It is evident to me Rio Rancho CERT fills the gap. When there's a gap to be filled, it doesn't remain a gap. You take care of it.
Yes.
And if I'm not mistaken, it won't be long before you and Rio Rancho CERT are going to be recognized. This is not just a Region 6, FEMA Region 6 award and FEMA Region 6 Community Preparedness Working Group award. I know that New Mexico Homeland Security and Emergency Management is also recognizing you and Rio Rancho CERT Team for being the top whole community award winner for New Mexico. So the accolades continue to come in for you guys.
It's super exciting, and my heart is just so full because of all it's a one of those selfless, or I call it selfish, positions where you work to, and then all these people come together, and it's so rewarding, and I think that's where this group team building comes in. It's like the more you give, the more you receive. You have this feeling of like, I've made a difference in my community.
Absolutely. Now, you yourself, I've met you. I want to say it was in Portales at Eastern New Mexico University when you were helping with the New Mexico Team CERT Camp.
So that was a wonderful.
Yeah, and if I'm not mistaken, plans are in the works to do it again. So I have a feeling I haven't already felt the tap on the shoulder. It's coming.
Yes.
So yeah, you have been around. You're the deputy emergency manager there at Rio Rancho Emergency Management. You have been there how long?
I've been here in this position 4 years, and I've been with the city for almost 10.
All right. So it sounds like you're turning into, if you're not already, it sounds like you're going lifer. And
I love it here.
Super. And we can use that. And it sounds like you're heading that way for CERT too. So
yes.
Yeah.
So I know you just spoke about some future plans, what our future plans are as a team. And so, when the pandemic first started, we were scheduled to have a class, which we obviously had to cancel. I was so determined to keep our momentum going with the team. So I opted in to do a virtual CERT class, which it was great. The attendance was great. It went off well. It did help us to realize that this is more of an in-person, hands-on class. I'm glad that we were able to get those folks through it, and they're given the option now when we start our next class to come in for the hands-on portion to get that. But yeah, so we did that, but we're starting up again. So we're hoping in April to have our next class. And so I began recruiting for that. And then the Teen CERT class camp will be, I believe, in July. I believe it's in July. And then I'll have one towards the end of the year. But some new stuff that we're going to try to incorporate is ham radio training for our team members, which was not offered in the past. We are also going to do some training on more advanced search and rescue through our SHISHCAP grant. I requested a side-by-side so that we could help, in the trenches. And I believe that was granted. So, I want to get them some good training on that so that we can be a pivotal part and making a change here in the city.
That's fantastic. What does your leadership structure look like in CERT, in your CERT team?
Well, we're kind of doing a restructure right now because normally we have our rehab team, which we have a vehicle here for them. It was an old ambulance that they redid, and we had all our CERT equipment in there. We are now having a mini pump truck refitted, and it's basically going to carry refilled oxygen tanks or filled up oxygen tanks and a decon shower on it for when we are at a location rehabbing. The firefighters don't have to take off their whole packs to refill their bag. We can just replace the bottles, and if it's a big fire, they can actually shower on site before they get into the engines, and it's a little safer. So they're not breathing in all those carcinogens after a fire. So that will be a huge help to our firefighters.
Absolutely.
And so, that's a couple of the things that we have in the works. And we also, plan to do a lot more community outreach now. It's like when that option is taken off the table, like it was this year. The want to be out there and making a difference seems even more so. I just want to be out there. I get calls from my team every week, emails from my team every week, for one, checking on me. And then, what's our next event? What are we doing next?
Yeah. I just want to say thank you, Rose Martinez. Thank you to Rio Rancho CERT Team. Mm-hmm. Thank you for the Rio Rancho Emergency Management. Such a great program. To you for such a great program, and to all the folks in Rio Rancho CERT Team who have worked so hard and who really, really deserve this year's whole Community Preparedness Award. Thank you very much, and I look forward to seeing you again. Hopefully, it'll be July at the great youth preparedness camp, and I'm hoping I'll be able to see the celebration that I believe is going to happen at Rio Rancho City Council here pretty soon. To congratulate your CERT team. So thank you very much, and I look forward to talking to you soon.
Thank you. I appreciate the opportunity.
That about does it for this episode. We'd like to thank Laura Brown from Arkansas Tech University's Emergency Management Program for her assistance editing this podcast. And we'd like you, the listener, to give us a like if you're so inclined, and share us with somebody else that might want to help prepare their community. Until next time, take care of you and yours.